Welcome back to another episode of Crowd Control. We've got some things to talk about, as we always do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot launching this week.
Yeah, this is a big week.
We had a tiny bit of a lull. There wasn't much of a lull, but there was a little bit of lull. Not a lot of campaigns launching, but there were some launching. But now I think we're getting back into that season where everyone's getting their campaigns between now and like closer to the end of the year.
Yeah, right. Well, this coming week, if you're watching this on Monday, some of these have already launched this week. Some of them are launching tomorrow, whatever. But there are 3 gigantic ones. And I want to talk about the one that I got to play or spend the most time with.
Yes.
I actually do have a video up on this as well. So spoiler alert, you can watch that for more information. But it's Dragon Eclipse from Awakened Realms. And like, my goodness. Yeah. This game, there's a lot that I didn't say in the preview because it was sponsored content.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
This game, yeah, there's a lot to it. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is amazing. The miniatures alone, the miniatures with Awakened Realms always looks really good. But I like the fact that they're not like cutesy.
No.
But they're kind of a little bit that way. They're not like super cutesy, but they're not like ultra realistic and terrifying. They're not. Isn't it not Tainted Grail?
Sure. But
it's not Tainted Grail, but it's not Pokemon. It's somewhere in between.
And they're really cool. And the whole kind of theme of this Dragon Eclipse game is like you can go out and collect them all. Like you can collect these, tame all of these different dragons, and kind of build a stable of dragons, and then deck build. It's an LCG, so you buy a box, you get access to all the cards. But what's really cool is like you can be that guy that rips open everything and starts deck building, or you can play through the campaign, and that content will kind of be dispersed to you over time as you play, which is really interesting.
The presentation is really cool because, like Ryan said, it is an LCG, but like some of the cards come in like packs that you're opening, so it almost feels like you went out and bought booster packs, but they're not real booster packs.
Oh, they know what cards are in them, and you're getting these cards.
You get what you get, and you get everything you need. But the way they present it and it unfolds is really cool, and it's a big adventure.
Yeah, it's a huge adventure. I got to play the first 2 scenarios, and it really did leave me wanting more of that. So, and seeing how some of the decisions I made in the first 2 scenarios would impact the overall storyline. So hopefully we'll get more when it actually releases, but it is coming out to Kickstarter. You can see all of the tons of different dragon sculpts and everything.
Or GameFound, probably.
GameFound. That is
more likely than not.
I slipped up. Yeah, so that is coming tomorrow. And another big one that we got to play is coming this week as well.
Yes, Millennia is a civilization game. This one is coming from Karma Games, Juma Al Juju. These are the people who made Clans of Caledonia and Thiefdom. That was a recent campaign of theirs. This is a pretty big, longer side civilization game, but it's a tableau builder. You're collecting cards, you're going to be drafting cards, you're going to be buying cards and building buildings, all adding those to your tableau, and using those mainly then during an action phase to take all these actions that you can possibly take that lets you go up a bunch of glorious Euro-y tracks. There's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 different tracks that you're running up. And of course, those tracks have a lot of bonuses, some of which are variable, which is really cool. They have a lot of tokens you can put on there so that it gives you a little different flavor. And of course, you might go up this track and it triggers something to let you go up this track, which triggers, so you've got some of those combos that happen every once in a while. And research, all the things you'd expect in a civilization game, but in a tableau builder. The interesting thing about the tableau is that it goes away. It doesn't just stay there. And this is probably the tightest part of the experience. You might draft some of these technologies and some even buildings into your tableau, and you're like, okay, I've got these things that I can use to my actions. Okay, the 3rd era is over. Oh, I'm losing 5 of my cards. They age out, and all the different cards that you get throughout the game have different ages so that they'll last for that round, maybe just that round, maybe a couple more rounds. A really interesting take on the civilization game.
Yeah, it is. It was a lot of fun. And another one that I've been looking forward to for a long time that was announced a while ago is Creature Caravans. And this is
from Ryan Lockett?
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm a sucker for his games. If you don't know Ryan Lockett, he has his own unique art style, his own game world he sets his games in, and they're all gorgeous looking games.
Also, side note, one of the most genuinely kindest human beings on the planet Earth.
Nice.
And he does all the stuff himself, really, all the artwork, all the cards.
Well, and this is an interesting campaign because he does have the new Creature Caravans game, he also has a role-playing game set in the world that he's developed that he also designed and wrote.
So Arzium? Is that the name of the world? I may be pronouncing it wrong.
Don't quote our pronunciation.
But the letters in the word I just said are also in the name of his world. But he has a reprint of Islebound.
A reprint of Islebound as well. So you can, but the real focus of the game is that Creature Caravans. And this is another tableau building game. But there's this cool map, and you're kind of building out your caravan, and you're interacting with all these different creatures. And I think there's a huge creature deck.
I want to say there was 130 some different creature cards, all with unique illustrations and like different abilities and whatnot, which is really cool if you like his art. The fact that he's done that, I don't know if he's repurposed anything.
That's wild that he can do that.
But it's a lot of cards there. It also seems to me like, so Ryan has done some, I wouldn't say heavy games.
No, but Sleeping Gods is pretty heavy.
Sleeping Gods, and even like Now or Never, and some of the more recent games of the bigger games in that series. And then he's done some lighter games, some of which I think have even gone to like Target and stuff like that. They're like very family friendly. This game feels like it's in the middle. It feels like a very medium weight game. It's not so light, but it's also not like a Now or Never or a Near and Far, that sort of thing, which is appealing to me.
I think this is going to hit his target audience right where they want it to be. I think it's going to appeal to both sides. It's going to appeal to the casual gamer who doesn't know what Ryan Lockett is. Just looking at that cover, you're like, I want to play this game. I want to learn more about this game.
Plus, his art's just very appealing.
His art is always very appealing. So we're going to move on to some other projects. Before we do, we're bringing in another great guest. This is another person that is also one of the nicest guys.
He's okay.
Always got a huge smile on his face. This is Devin. You might know Devin from his appearances on Board Game Co. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hey everyone, it's Devin from Devin Talks Tabletop. If you're not familiar with me, that's probably the best decision you made in your whole life. And if you are familiar with me, I'm sorry. I don't have any apology that will adequately make up for your loss. However, if you're not familiar with the games that I'm about to talk about during this crowdfunding segment, then that is absolutely a bad decision because you should be looking at these. They're the ones I'm excited about. And if I'm excited about them, then you would also be if you have similar or overlapping tastes. Don't really know where I was going with that, but fully landed it. Number one for me is a game that is actually fulfilling right now. So it's Oathsworn Into the Deep Woods. I was in on the first edition or the first printing of this game. And in the second printing of this game, I got all of the new stuff, kind of like the upgraded or newer components that they were showing off. And then the upgrade pack, which will give new cards and stuff. Number two on my list is one of three games that I'm going to talk about that are currently live. It's on Kickstarter as well. It is Mythic Mischief Volume 2 from Ivy Studios. I love any type of game where I'm trying to mentally get in the head of the opponent across from me. Really love Mythic Mischief. Volume 2 was a blast. They also have something that I think is unique for a lot of crowdfunding games. They have a digital app that they have released. It's in beta right now, so you can check out the game and play the factions and see if it's a game that you would like. And to me, it's a very fun game to play digitally. They've done a good job on the app. This next one is on GameFound, the Isofarian Guard, the second printing from Sky Kingdom Games. Really, really happy that this has hit a second printing and that it's doing fabulously right now. It's trending over 550,000. So really doing a good job. And if you are looking for your next campaign game, I encourage you to check out Isofarian Guard from Sky Kingdom Games. My next one is also on GameFound. And it is the last of the three currently live campaigns that you can check out. This is Hoplomachus Pandora's Box expansions and also the reprint for the base game. I haven't gotten a chance to check out Hoplomachus yet, but when I played and demoed it a couple times, I really had a good time with it. So if you're interested at all, they have expanded the universe if you've either already purchased Hoplomachus or if you were wondering about when to jump in, there's a lot of content that they have now released with the advent of these new expansion boxes. So you're getting modular content to add on to Hoplomachus. Always love Chip Theory. They make the most delightful games, and also they're fantastic for the community. They're just really good at giving back. So anything that they do, I'm always excited about, always interested in. Thank you so much, Man vs. Meatball, for having me, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.
And thank you, Devin, for doing that. I guess he isn't so bad of a guy after all. We've got one more to talk about. This one has been running, and it is called Fromage.
Yeah.
This is a game coming from the designers of Search for Planet X.
Matthew O'Malley and Ben Rossett, who are fantastic designers.
Not that kind of game, though.
It's not. It's not a deduction game at all, but it does do some very interesting things.
Here's the promise of this game. They promise on the page, well, they may not promise, but they describe it as such, that it is a 2-hour type experience in around 40 minutes. Like a Euro-y experience. It's got this really cool board. This is my big takeaway. The board is in 4 pieces. It comes together like a big wheel of cheese, and it's 4 different segments that face a player. And it's a worker placement game. They are saying simultaneous worker placement. And when I first read that, I was like,
that seems like a mess,
that
right?
sounds like a madhouse of a crazy experience. But you're just placing workers, it appears, just in the section in front of you. So it's not like some sort of I'm going there first before someone else does.
And that wheel, that represents the aging of your cheese as you take these actions on your side, and then it rotates. All of your workers and everything kind of go with it, or all the things that you place go with it. And there's all these dual layered spots to place your cheese and everything. Yeah. It's really cool looking.
And the workers that are facing you that have check marks on them, effectively representing the aging process, I assume, are then the workers you get as it rotates to you to then use on your next turn. It sounds really creative. And not only that, the board isn't just 4 pieces. There are these 4 sort of variable pieces that you slide these big things in, so that changes the cheeses, I think, that are showing through the grid work, which sounds and then you can even mix and match the order in which those pieces are put together.
You're not always getting the same pieces in a row. Yeah,
so it sounds like a lot of a variability for that game.
And then you're building out your own player area. There's a lot that's going. This game looks phenomenal too. I don't want to say that. The page looks awesome. They obviously seem to really love cheese. So.
Yeah, they do really love cheese. This reminded me, the name Fromage.
Fromage.
If you're a fan of old cartoons, there's an old Freakazoid cartoon where he teaches French and he says, "Qui a coupé le fromage?"
That's really good.
I'll let you translate that at home.
I'm sure it's something.
Qui a coupé le fromage?
I'm sure I can guess what
By the way,
might
I'm
be.
doing a horrible French accent.
Yeah, don't judge any of our pronunciations or accents.
Yes.
So. That's pretty much all we have for what's running, what's coming. But again, we talked about this last week. We have a huge project coming up in a couple weeks, which is Dice Throne X-Men.
Yeah, Dice Throne X-Men is coming up, and they did do another reveal recently. They revealed Storm and Iceman, so they've revealed 4 characters now. Truth be told, we have had a chance to play them.
Yeah.
We do have some content that is coming at a certain point, hopefully soon, so you'll be able to see all of that. But until then, those characters, if you ever thought, oh, they can't do much more with the characters, they can. And I think of these first 4, Iceman and Storm even ramp it up further with oh, that's an interesting mechanic.
Iceman is crazy. His powers on his board are connected by ice slides. And if you've seen Iceman, he slides around
very
on those
thematic.
Ice waves.
So you can connect abilities
and chaining abilities
maybe
through that
fire
ice.
up to
It's cool.
And Storm uses electricity. She can actually use lightning tokens to charge up her different abilities that open up sort of an enhanced version of that, or a little extra effect. Or if she gets 2 of those on one thing, it can immediately just fire off and do 2 undefendable damage.
How unique.
Yeah, the characters are cool. There's a lot more that they're going to be revealing over the next few weeks leading up to this, including the co-op play, which is really cool.
As soon as we can get our hands on that, we'll let you know, and we'll play, hopefully get a chance to play all of these different characters. But we're very excited for Dice Throne X-Men, and that's launching next month. But we'll keep coming back and talking about some of this content as they announce it, and as we're allowed to talk about what's coming, because we're very excited for it.
Yeah, 100%. And that is crowd control for this week. We may be back next week. There's going to be some weeks where we might not be back. There's some traveling going on for various parties of the MVM team. But if we are back next week, hopefully you'll be back here and we'll have more crowdfunding to talk about. Until next time, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then.
Bye.